guys, I'm Raven. On my channel, I talk about fashion, beauty, and basically ways to live your best life. If you're going through a shift, whether it's personal development, a style evolution, or just kind of trying to figure out how to live your best life, this video is for you. So in the beginning of my edgy type of style era, it was more about rebellion and expressing myself in a way that I only felt safe doing. A lot of the times whenever I would wear all black, it reflected how I felt on the inside. We know, teen angst, emo, that type of thing. That's what I was displaying. And as I got older, my teen angst obviously went away, and I started to want to associate to different types of interest and people, and I wanted to explore new things. And that meant that my style was also going to eventually have to evolve, because you simply can't stay in the same place. I mean, you can, but a lot of the times you start to grow in ways that you never thought was possible. I wanted clothes that reflected my inner softness and outer confidence versus like showing how tough and edgy that I could be. Being edgy is super cool, but sometimes it can come off very harsh, and that's not what was reflecting on the inside of me anymore. So I opted for different types of fabrics and etc. And we'll get more into that later. But also first, I want to say it's okay to evolve. You're not betraying your old self. Matter of fact, you're honoring her by becoming who she always wanted to be. With that being said, who do you want to be? What do you want to feel like in your new clothes? Do you want to feel soft? Do you want to feel powerful? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to still feel a little bit edgy, but just more mature? Where do you start? Honestly, the best place to get inspiration, or just like a place to start, is Pinterest. On Pinterest, you can find so many different types of styles and create a collection to where, okay, I like this look. How can I make something similar to it? Or how can I like draw from this style and make it my own? I think it's very important to notice, do I like this color? Am I going to like this fabric? Can I see myself wearing that on a day-to-day basis? Is this practical for what it is that I'm wanting to step into? Personally, for me, I started pulling images with flowy silhouettes, which to me symbolize more femininity, and I also picked a lot of more neutral tones in the color palettes. But I also looked into my color analysis as well to kind of get some insight on what colors would best suit me. So if you are confused about that, definitely do like a color analysis and look into, am I a soft summer? Am I a true winter? Look and see what best goes with your skin tone, your hair color, and your complexion, and that will kind of point you in the direction of where you should be looking in terms of like a color palette. Also, begin to take notice on your Pinterest boards of patterns. So are you pinning things that have more structure to them, like blazers, or are you pinning things that do have more of like a flowy silhouette, like satin skirts, or maybe denim jeans more often versus like fishnet leggings and combat boots, that type of thing. Notice the patterns that you are pinning and start to kind of gravitate towards that style versus your old aesthetic. Once you have your vision board kind of set in stone, then you're going to gradually transition into making this your everyday style. The first tip I have for you is to start with color. I know, it can be scary, it can be daunting. Try swapping the blacks for creams, nudes, or muted tones, or whatever fits best to the color analysis palette that you have. You can still wear black, but try pairing it with softer textures. Instead of leather, think satin or cotton. Tip number 2 I have for you, upgrade your silhouettes. So instead of wearing baggy band tees and oversized hoodies, trade it for a structured blazer or a nice fitted cardigan. Also choose fitted tops, high-waisted trousers, flowy skirts, items that skim rather than hide your actual frame. Tip number 3 is accessorize differently. Swap out the chains, the spiky jewelry, the dead animals, the crosses, all of those things for gold or silver jewelry. Again, whatever best fits your complexion. Try to find pieces that are classic and minimalistic versus out there and edgy all the time. I'm not saying get rid of everything, because you may have to go to a goth birthday party, or you may have to go to emo night just to get it out of your system sometimes. So don't throw everything away, or don't get rid of everything. But in the meantime, find pieces that are classic staples in terms of jewelry that aren't necessarily edgy or loud, but you can wear them and feel confident in them and feel like they are more mature. I don't know if you should be in your 30s still wearing a spiked collar or choker. That's totally your prerogative, but at the end of the day, if you are trying to level up your clothing style, I don't think that choker is going to be practical on a day-to-day basis, just to keep that in mind. Tip number 4 is shoes matter greatly. I always felt like I had imposter syndrome anytime that I wore Vans. I have to admit, I was not a Vans girly, never have, but I bought them anyway to associate with that certain group of people. I was more of a Converse girl. I still love my Converse and I still have them, and I will bring them out from time to time for like a casual look, but they're not my everyday shoe. So if you are wanting to elevate and upgrade your wardrobe, try looking into ballet flats, kitten heels, or even a loafer to differentiate your style. If you are wanting to look a little bit more your age, get rid of those combat boots. Don't wear them every day. Opt for something a little bit more classic. Tip number 5 is your hair and makeup have to have a shift. In my alternative era, if you know, you know, I was doing my hair a different color almost on a monthly basis. I would go from purple to red to cotton candy to so many different looks because it just felt fun expressing myself that way and seeing myself with different clothing and different colors and being bright and loud and yada yada yada, which was all fun and games, but the upkeep of that becomes such a performance that it's not really true to who I am. It may not be the greatest thing for you to do every day, but try scaling back the eyeliner. Try doing more natural looks. Like today I am wearing eyeliner, but it's not black, it's brown, and it complements my features so much more, and it's not as harsh. I also think by wearing your natural hair color for a couple of months or maybe even a year will kind of get you back in the routine of seeing yourself a little bit more natural. I've had this hair color, it's my natural one, for like 2 years now, and oh my gosh, it has given me so much more confidence in my natural look. I also stopped wearing eyelashes every single day. I look back on that era of mine where I wore a strip lash that were like spiders coming out of my eyes, and I'm like, I cannot believe I did that every single day. It's not clocking to me that I did that, but I don't regret it. It was still fun. I love getting all dolled up and doing that, which I still do every once in a while, but it's just not practical to my age every day to do that. I think you have to learn how to embrace your natural features and work upon elevating those. Like, think about the 90s and the early 2000s. People were literally working with what they had, and even actors or celebrities, people who were in the media all the time, they, of course, plastic surgery and everything was up and coming at that time, but so many people looked different than they do now today. Start embracing those features that you naturally have and expand upon them. But again, I'm all for if you don't like something, change it, but that's a whole nother topic for another day, okay? Moving on from the style tips a little bit to understanding and processing the emotional change of you going from alternative to quote unquote normal and boring and basic look. You are not going to be normal or basic. You're still going to be that same girl who likes alternative music, who probably has tattoos or piercings or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're not basic because your style is changing. Style is so fluid, and you may be feeling maybe cognitive dissonance or feeling like you're not yourself whenever you're not dressing alternative, but hear me out. You're allowed to outgrow your aesthetic. You are allowed to change. It is okay to change. If you stay in the same spot for the rest of your life, what's the point? You have to mature. You have to try things that you've never done before in order to live a fulfilled life. It is okay that you're changing. Don't make yourself feel bad or guilty or sad that things are changing. It's normal to feel that way, but you don't necessarily have to dwell on the past. Look towards your future because it is so much brighter, and you will thank yourself that you eventually changed your style in the first place. Honor your edgy past. It literally taught you confidence, but now you're going to honor that confidence in a completely new way, and she is going to thrive. You are going to be your best self coming into this new style evolution. Just give it time and be patient. And if things don't necessarily feel good in the moment, just give yourself some grace and keep trying. Okay, so with all that being said, where are you gonna shop now? Like Hot Topic, Dolls Kill, Killstar, whatever, goth, alternative places that you probably have shopped before, where are you gonna shop now? Do I have some pieces of advice for you, my friend? It honestly doesn't matter where you shop as long as you're getting staple pieces for your wardrobe in the beginning of you transitioning into this new style that you're leaning into. So you can still have this like more mature, feminine, edgy style, but the edge is going to be a little different than how it looked whenever you were in your early 20s. Like if you're somebody that wants to maybe be a little edgy, I think of like high fashion Balenciaga edgy versus like Killstar alternative edgy, if that's the route you're going. If you're trying to go like a baddie IG route, then I think of Revolve. And then I think of maybe like an elevated feminine moment, I think of House of CB and Selkie dresses. So it really just depends on what you're wanting to lean into. Start with the basics and get a good pair of denim. Get a good pair of everyday shoes, like a ballet flat or a loafer or even a good sandal. Also start with a good basic white tee or black tee if you're still feeling the edgy, you know, vibe. You can totally do that too. But just make sure you're getting the basics in the beginning, and then slowly you can transition into statement pieces like a quality structured bag, or maybe something that's designer, or even like a really nice jewelry piece that's a statement piece. Just depends. Anyway, changing your style can feel like an identity crisis. Believe me, I've had many in my life, but really it's just evolving into your next chapter. If this resonated with you, don't forget to comment below and tell me where you're at in your style journey. Would love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe for more, because I've got a lot of pop culture and fashion videos on the way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Why did that feel so Disney Channel? Okay, bye.
You don't know me, keep it silent. In the bedroom, might be screaming, but outside I keep it quiet. You know, rusty, I'm the lowest of the lowest. But if you can keep it, let nobody notice.